Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Vagrus the Riven Realms. We're in the middle of Findorath's questline. She's just been ambushed by an assassin and something's gonna happen. Perhaps it is indeed time to leave and join your crew fast. You leave the Kernak house's common room and blink rapidly in the blinding sunlight outside. Findorath is still upset about the attack, but before she could go on, you come to a sudden stop. A group of men is blocking your way, leering nastily and eyeing the Dragonkin envoy. It is fairly evident, even at a cursory glance, that these people are not intrigued bystanders nor common travelers. They are armed to the teeth and their gear looks equally cruel and effective. Their leader steps forward with raised palms to signal that he means no harm. The man is fairly unimpressive at first, skinny and old with a bald head and large ears. He smiles awkwardly as he greets you.
Apologies for holding you up like this, Vagrus, but you see, we have a proposition to put to you.
The man says in a dangerously kind tone. That's not the voice I was using.
I can't exactly let you leave without hearing it.
The mercenaries around him make gestures to indicate that they are itching for a fight. You have no choice but to hear him out. This is not true. I could have my people kill you instantly.
My employers, you see, they wish to have a little chat with your companion there.
The man nods towards Findorath, who seems astonished by the implication.
Why involve yourself in such a complicated and potentially dangerous matter, am I right?
Are we talking about the matter that involves the murder of diplomatic envoys? Findorath butts in passionately.
I'm talking to the Vagrus here, but rest assured, your turn will come too,
the man says with a noticeable edge in his voice when he turns back to you, while Findorath is left seething.
Look, we don't want any trouble, but we are more than capable of causing a lot of it. But why escalate things further? You're a reasonable man, and so are we. We want the woman, and are willing to pay for her. Why would you risk so much for a stranger you found out in the wasteland? This matter does not concern you. Hand her over, and you'll never see us again. You'll be counting your coins instead.
Findorath glances at you, and the dread in her eyes is clearly visible. The man grins obnoxiously.
Do we have a deal?
Let the mercenaries... This is so ruthless. Tell the mercenaries there is no deal. No deal.
I see.
The mercenary leader frowns and steps away.
Well, then you leave us no choice.
As his henchmen start to advance on you, a thunderclap rumbles and washes over you all. Findorath has been preparing. The envoy lets loose a sizable lightning strike upon her enemies, and the deafening crackling is soon contaminated by the pain cries of the mercenaries. When it is finally over, only 3 mercenaries still stand. The leader and 2 badly scorched goons. The latter 2 now move against you with weapons drawn, while the skinny man backs off. The mercenaries are upon you in an instant. Well, thank God I brought Gorgoro with me. Alright, Findorath, you hide behind him. Ah, she has frickin' wings! I didn't know that! That's sick! Begin the fight. Alright, you got a spear and you got a bone club. Go for the spear boy first. He almost died. Hey! Knock that off. Alright, let's see. I'm not familiar with Findorath's abilities. So we have Chain Lightning. Draconic lightning springs forth from the sorceress's palms, leaping from foe to foe in a dance of death. Does electric damage and penetrating for... how much damage? I don't know. -2 initiative. It's got Electrify, which is a ranged attack. And that looks like a single attack. So we've got an AoE and then a single attack. And then we've got Fly. Oh, sick. She can go anywhere on the battlefield. That's kind of cool. And then Force Shield. Summons a hovering force shield that protects an ally from harm. Dude, she could boost Gorgoro's armor? He might be impenetrable. Let's Chain Lightning this nerd. Owned. And then kill this dude. Oh, she minuses her own initiative to Chain Lightning people. I understand. Well, that was easy. You look up and see a dozen more mercenaries running up the road that leads to the doors of the Kernak house. Their leader is angrily urging them to finish you off, while even the most curious bystanders have fled to safety by now. The local bouncers and guards have withdrawn, probably having been bribed by your foe. Just then, when all hope seems lost, your Komes finally arrive and join the fight, along with some of the braver travelers who seem to resent the fact that the patrons of this place are harassed by common assassins. A bloody skirmish commences. As your crew engages in a bloody melee, you and Vinderath are targeted by a few mercenaries who separate from the main group. All around you, the fight is escalating as your people try to reach you and the envoy. Some of them may do so in time, but will that be enough to turn the tide? Ah, sick. I got my whole crew. All right. I think we will take... I think this is going to be our future squad, but I think it makes sense to keep Krifta in there for now while Vinderath is still a level 1. So let's begin the fight. Let's go for the orc first. He's probably the most dangerous. Ooh, crit is fantastic. Let's try and pin this guy at the back. He cannot move now. Melt this guy's brain, please. He's dead. He's not dead. He's back. He's dead again. And then, punch this guy in the head. Does this stun? It does. Donk. Did not stun him. Poke him. Oh, he didn't do anything. All right, just keep poking this guy because he's stuck at the back. That guy's brain has exploded, and then that man burned to death. It's very fun doing quests that are clearly meant for lower level characters. The last of the mercenaries drops dead, and the victors start going through their belongings for anything valuable. You can see that during the fierce melee, the leader of the assassins was also slain. His dead eyes stare up at the sky while his mouth is contorted in his final agony. Most combatants received at least a flesh wound and bruises, so now people tend to these as the local guards start to secure the area. You nod at some of your komes who looted the corpses. The valuables you will find their way to you later. For now, you look at the Dragonkin envoy who's sitting on a low stone fence bandaging a cut on her leg. Harvick pulls you aside before you could talk to her. Hey boss, that dipshit there is an old acquaintance of mine, the tainted mercenary says in hushed tones, pointing directly at discreetly at the leader of the assassins. Or well, was an old acquaintance. I was looking for him to settle some scores, and it looks like Irophons was kind enough to place him in our way and under our boots, eh? Anyway, I just wanted to say that I owe you for thanks for hunting down these bastards on my hit list. One down, many to go still. Oh, that's funny, because we've completed Harvick's quest line. He grins and stomps on the skinny mercenary's face out of spite, and then walks away. We gain some moon dust, some jewelry, torture devices, and some money. Vinderath nods as you walk over to her. Thank you for protecting me, Vagrus. Believe it or not, this was in service to the Dragonlands. Although I have to admit, I am more than grateful on a personal level. It has been too much of surviving attempts on my life lately. Too much assassins and ambushes. I'm sure you can understand. She looks at the remains of the mercenaries and is about to go on speaking when suddenly she sees something. Limps over to the corpse of a goon and checks a tattoo on its bicep. Then she steps over the body and checks on another one, and then another. This tattoo, she wonders out loud. They all have it. She is right. Most, if not all the mercenaries wear the same tattoo, depicting an 8-legged horned lizard in black ink. Neither of you knows anything about such a symbol or the organization it belongs to, but somebody sure does. Surely does. You ask Vinderath what she intends to do now. She sits back on the stone fence and thinks for a while about your question. Unfortunately, the death of my guide means that my mission is a failure. I have no idea where this meeting takes place, not even a region or a city to start looking for it. That ship has sailed, as the old saying goes, so it seems to me I will be unable to complete the mission. I might as well give up, right? She sighs, clearly debating what to do. She looks to you for guidance. What do you think I should do? You are more experienced than I am in the matters of the world outside the Dragonlands, of adventures and dangers out there. Should I give up and return home? Or perhaps I try to look into the heart of this. She looks at you expectantly. Advise her to stay with your comitatus and investigate the plot involving the assassins. Yes. Yes! Her eyes go wide and she becomes agitated. That is exactly what I should do. Get to the bottom of this, on my own. Well, with your help, that is. You tell Vinderath that you will gladly employ her and aid her investigation. She seems delighted and shakes your hand. Thank you so much, Vagrus. This is the best news I've heard in a long while. I swear you will not regret it. You know that my sorceress and academic skills will be at your disposal, and that I am also quite handy in a negotiation as well as in a fight. She flashes a wide grin. Oh my, I would hug you, but I don't think that would be appropriate. Don't mind me, I get emotional at times like this. I'm just really happy and look forward to our adventures together. I feel like Finderath is a bit sheltered compared to what we've had to deal with. She rises from the fence and sets off towards the Comitatus at a brisk pace, despite her wounds. As for the investigation I'm about to embark on, she says, looking back at you, let's talk about it when things calm down, all right? I may have some ideas on where to start. You return to the Comitatus with the Dragonkin sorceress in tow. Ooh, more insight. Yes. Looking for answers. Talk to Finderath about what you know so far of the assassins who were hired to murder her. Well, we will do that, but we will also go to the Twin Towers because... Sure, I'll buy the scrap metal. Because we have a thing to do there for Prince Faisal. Let's head out. Get some vigor back. You always lose a chunk of vigor whenever you get into a tussle with whoever, really. Examine the plants. Free supplies. Use your dowsing rod. Dig deeper. 189. Sick. I remember back when I first played this game. Oh! Dude! We're getting all the companions! Neat! I also must have screwed this one up. Or at least I didn't get it at one point. The Emperor's Road, this is wild. The Emperor's Road meanders towards the horizon lazily, and for the last handful of hours you have not been roused from your reverie. But then you spy a gathering of travelers ahead, just off the road. The wind carries the noise of a loud argument, and your crew is already getting anxious. Getting closer to the commotion, it becomes evident that there are several Comitatii encamped in close proximity, but whether or not is related to the ruckus you cannot say. Some people have taken up a threatening posture. Weapons are drawn, and they have surrounded what looks like a huge corpulent undead in an apron, who is waving his hand apologetically with a nervous grin on his grim visage. Halt the Comitatus and see what this is about. You leave the Comitatus on the road and approach the center of the commotion. The undead fellow, who seems to be a chef, is being accosted by half a dozen warriors belonging to a group of Tarkian travelers. They are clad in black, their loose desert attire adorned by half-moon symbols, and they hold curved swords forged from bronze and iron. It is a religious debate, one of the bystanders tells you on the whole matter, even though you did not ask. We should set fire to it. That'll teach it not to blaspheme against the Lord of the Night, one of the warriors said. Hey, hey, hey! The undead fellow exclaims with a chuckle, trying to downplay the emergent danger. I only said that my cooking is so good that even the gods would eat it up. Blasphemer! Another warrior shouts angrily. Throw him down a well! The bystander exclaims. Her altogether different religious conviction must have been offended as well. People! The undead man seems distraught as the warriors close in on him. You all ate the meal I cooked for you last night and seemed to love it. Let's cut this out, eh? Go our separate ways? No reason to get worked up for silly reasons now, is there? The groans from the crowd tell you that the large fellow keeps digging his grave, and the threat to his own life does indeed seem more and more real by the second. Is there nobody here with a measure of sense? His gaze is darting around to find anybody who would be willing to back him up. Step in and defend the undead fellow. Carrick is like, F this, man. You clear your throat loudly and announce that there will be no lynching today. At first, there is silence. The Tarkian warriors are unable to comprehend how you would be able to decide that, but then one of the other bystanders speaks loud and clear. The Vagrus speaks truly. Leave the cook alone. Are you so thin-skinned you can't take a joke? An older tainted fellow butts in, shaking his head at the Tarkians. Two Damahan warriors who belong to one of the small traveling groups rise to their feet and stand next to you to show their support too. The Tarkians eye the crowd for a few moments. They are no fools. They can sense the shift in the mood regarding the undead chef, and eventually back off, cursing quietly. And with that, the tension is gone, and everyone returns to the chores of their camp. Oh boy, for a moment there I thought it was a goner, the huge undead fellow tells you. Although, who am I kidding? I've been a goner for 2 centuries now. He bursts out laughing loudly at his own joke, and it takes him over a minute to regain his composure. Sorry, I couldn't resist, he chuckles more. But, yeah, thanks for saving my ass. These weird worshipping types keep turning up these days, see? Making life miserable for everyone. And after all that, I cooked a meal fit for the kings for them last night. Fit for the kings, I say. Now that you have the opportunity to take a good look at the undead man, you can see that he is wearing a sturdy leather apron over some worn clothes and old bandages. His corpulent body is immense in size, yet he moves with relative ease. There's ample rotten flesh on his huge bones, but its texture is rubbery and the stench is not as bad as you had thought. Name's Vorax, he bows his huge head, and it looks like I'm out of employment. Again. Say, with you being a Vagrus and all that, aren't you in the business of hiring a quartermaster? You just might. Discuss it with Vorax. Ask him about his past, ask him about being undead. We can ask him about this stuff later, I think. We will hire him. You will? You are? Vorax looks astonished and then bursts out laughing, skipping from one huge foot to the other. Oh, thank you, friend. I was so fed up traveling alone, you have no idea. He turns serious suddenly. You won't regret it, I promise. I'll make myself very useful, you'll see. And he does. After packing up his gear, mostly cooking pots, spices, and utensils, he joins your column and immediately begins familiarizing himself with the Comitatus, with its rules, practices, cargo, workforce, and logistics. It is evident that Vorax knows what he is doing. His jovial laughter and inappropriate jokes can be heard all over the carts during the day. Some find it amusing, others less so, but his expertise cannot be denied. Hey boss, talk to me when we strike camp, eh? He tells you during one of the short breaks. We can talk about how I can be more useful to the gang. The Comitatus travels on. Well, that was unexpected. I did not expect to come across Vorax in the middle of the road. So that's fun. Now we have all the companions, I believe. Except for Sidarius, who I had to kill in order to get Shavik. But, you know, things happen. All right, so we're going to sell all of our pots. Maybe? Exchange? No? Oh, I'm not in the right menu. I was like, how does this work? All right, goodbye. Turn this in. Fantastic. You guys have any metal? You do not. Do you have anything to go the other direction? This stuff is all for, like, very far away, except for Torzeg Shelter, which we will take. This is all for, like, the other side of the world. No thank you. All right, Torzeg's it is. Sort this stuff out. Let's go to the East Tower. We lose movement. Ask for an audience? Yes, you bear precious cargo in the form of gifts from Prince Faisal. You announce you have brought valuable cargo from the Prince of Kabur for her to distribute according to their prior agreement. Then, you bid your people bring forth a spectacle of magnificent carpets. Their intricate iconography infused with rich symbolism would indeed leave many a beholder in awe. Truly exquisite, Captain Mavuru Obuwius says with a thick accent. Please notify the prince that his gifts will reach their intended beneficiaries in time. Is that a good accent? They're set down where she indicates. These resplendent tokens of Prince Faisal's diplomatic finesse are to be placed. After that, it is taken care of, and you adhere to the rules laid out by the formal protocol as to what else to say and how long you should remain there. The items are thus delivered. Goodbye, Captain. All right, leave the tower. We'll rest here for today. We can have our people help out and get their vigor back. Nice. Success. Well done. And then back to Torzeg Shelter. We'll hit Kernak on the way in case there's something else to pick up there. I think there should be. Let's use our movement buff. And then we'll rest here again. So let's see here. Devon, Arkin, Cobber. We definitely want to take Torzeg Shelter. Yeah. I'm honestly, I think I'll take the Devon one too. Because what I'm thinking is we're accumulating metal, right? and I want to make it take it over to Avernum at some point. So we'll hit, excuse me, we'll hit Torzeg Shelter, drop off our stuff, but then continue on to Devon and then go to Avernum to make our metal run like I like to do. So let's rest here. Exchange news. You're heading to Torzeg Shelter? Come on down. Go ahead and rest. And then why don't we try to talk to Vorax and Findrath. So Vorax, you're up. Let's go ahead and start working through his backstory too, because I want to know. That's gonna be a short tale. I don't remember any of it. I do remember everything since I woke up as... He holds a dramatic pause and indicates his expansive form. As this. I've been around like this for over 200 years now. People began calling me Vorax, so I just kind of went with it. I figured why not? I can't recall my old name anyway. The only thing I knew right away was how to cook. Maybe that's something I did before. Bit the dust. Never could figure it out, though. You tell him that 2 centuries is more than enough time to start anew. Agreed, Vorax grins. And so I did. Start anew, I mean. Traveled around the continent, learned the art of cooking, worked all sorts of related jobs. Most of it was fun. Quite the journey, you know. I can't have enough of it, I feel like. All right, every time we talk to him, we'll just ask him about one of his other things. Vorax wants to talk to you about something. Oh yeah, there's something I wanted to chat about, boss, the undead cook says, and once you tell him that you are listening, he sucks in air and begins his speech. There's this fellow, a rich shithead really, called Davrius Marius Paulus. An aristocrat, you know, his family, the Pauli, were great supporters of the Empire, and have storied past. Whatever. Davrius, however, is a different matter. You see, the fellow is young. He is also an adherent to Baller Call, and he's known to have a thing for exotic food. In fact, people from all over the realms, and even beyond, have been known to visit him to win his favor by cooking him splendid meals. Davrius Paulus, the clever bastard, figured out several years ago that he could get even more free meals of the highest quality if he promotes the whole rumor, and so he issued a challenge to all cooks and chefs. The one who can impress him with a truly sublime meal will be granted a wish in his power. But with his money and extensive experiences, my esteemed colleagues have been trying to meet this challenge in vain. Paulus has already tasted everything there is to taste. You tell Vorax that you expect him to take on this challenge. Oh, what gave it away? He asks and then bursts out laughing. Sure, I want to be the best of the best, he tells you after calming down. And I have a plan, you see. A meal that will most certainly impress young Paulus. The catch is, I need some very rare ingredients, and I could use your help in acquiring them. But the good news is, if we succeed, Paulus's favor is surely to extend to you too. And having a guy back you up is not to be scoffed at, eh? So what do you say, boss? Are you up for the challenge? Will you help me gather in what I need for the meal? Pledge your help to Vorax in this matter. Oh boy, that's great, Vorax exclaims. We'll embark on a great culinary quest, you and I. There's quite a few things to acquire, but I'll deal with the smaller, simpler stuff. The 4 big things I'll need are the meat, mushrooms, the spice, and the booze. All of these are rare and very special, so it won't be very easy. You ask him to be more specific, which he nods hastily. Sure, let's begin with the meat. Well, I should say, the stomach. Forrest guffaws at your expression. Jacre stomach from a huge specimen. The trick is to have the creature eat divine ichor and hunt it down only after it's digested that crap. I have an old acquaintance by the name of Burhek, a Bandul huntsman, the strong, quiet type. Last I heard, he was living in the Atrar tribe out west. We should visit him there, 'cause I'm sure he'll help us out. And don't worry about the divine ichor. I already have it. You take a note and ask about the other things. The booze is easy. A bottle of Eperina. For the sauce, my buddy Grat, the bartender at the Copper Pugio in Devon, will have one. Hey, we're gonna go to Devon anyway. Then we've got the mushrooms, a rare strain called amber shroom. I suppose that if you're already visiting Devon for the wine, we should ask about, around at the Hanging Gardens. If anyone, the botanist will know how to get the amber shrooms. Vorax falls silent, so you remind him of the spice. Oh, yeah. For that, I'll need the good old spices. Quite a lot, actually. Don't ask. It's a tedious process that involves filtering and mixing. But I'll also need rare ingredients to add to the blend. Aran's bell, Tarkian mugwort, and wraithgrass. Not sure where to find them, but we can ask about them later. And that's all. It's quite a lot, I know. There's no rush, though. I don't think anybody's gonna beat me to the challenge. Can't wait to find them and get cooking. Vorax seems to be very excited by the prospect. Okay. Neat. And let's talk to Findrath. Her plans? My plans, huh? She considers it briefly. So, ready to talk about what happened and what we should do? She asks you, inviting you to sit down on the rug. You do, and she shows you a parchment with the sketch of the 8-legged horned lizard symbol. We know that these people are professionals and that they can be hired because they have foolishly talked about an employer. That employer is clearly someone powerful, and they did not want us to arrive at that meeting. And if I can find out who they are and why they took so much effort to oppose the Blue Brood, I can perhaps make this right with the Dragonlands. But I digress, she points to the sketch. This symbol here is the one we have to go after. We don't know names, but we know the sign of their organization, their mercenary symbol. You know who it belongs to either. You don't know who belongs to either, right? She gives you a wide smile as you shake your head. You and I are going to find someone to identify this, and by doing so, we'll learn who these people are. Then we can find them and ask them who their employer is. That is my plan. You have to agree that it seems like a viable course of action, even if it probably is a very dangerous one. When you tell Finderath that these assassins will more than likely not sit idly by while you are spying on them and will strike back, she nods. Yes, and that is exactly why I need your help. I could not do this alone, but with the help of the Comitatus we can overcome this. I am positive we can. Unfortunately, as for the specifics, as for where to look for the information, I have no clue yet. But you are well-traveled and experienced in worldly matters, unlike me. Let me know if you have some ideas. I think I have an idea. Precious stone, jewelry, dragon egg, crystal, ancient tablet. Sure. Have an arcane text, have an ancient tablet, and an enchanted perfume. And a dragon egg. Why not? All right, get her loyalty up through the roof. All right, cool. Don't work. Rest for the day. Exchange news, and then head out. All right, cool. We're going to head over to Torzeg's shelter, and then I'm going to do a little bit of trading and whatnot and get us set up for heading over to Devon in the next episode. So, if you guys enjoyed the episode, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more episodes of Vagrus, the Riven Realms, you want to see the adventures of Finderath and Vorax as we go through their quest lines and knock out the rest of Javik's quest line, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. That's a weird glitch. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!